You asked for fall-themed books. I'm here for you. The vibe that I went when I'm thinking about fall books is things that are cozy, somewhat mysterious, and while they might not always all be set in fall, they do have a lot of those fall cozy season vibes. I'm going to start off super strong with Wistress. This book is by Nadine Brandis, and I read this on a camping trip in the fall, and I will never forget it because it was the perfect timing. As you can see, it's very icy and wintry as well, but there is so much to do with leaves and colors and fall and falling leaves that it was just like the best vibes ever. Highly recommend binging this in the fall sometime because it's just like perfect. Mammoth by Brian McBride, and I'm actually on a reread of this so that I can annotate it. This is very fall cozy mystery vibes as well. Lots of adventure, high adventure, treasure hunting, all of that kind of fun stuff. And it is just like very Pacific Midwest cozy fall. We should count how many times I say cozy and fall in this video. At Home in Milford, super great, cozy, small town, lots of fun characters. This is a really great one to read in the fall. Aunt Jane's Hero by Elizabeth Prentice. This book is also very Victorian, dark academia. You're going to love it. The Rose and the Thistle, which, keeping in theme with the colors of the book, has some very broody, dark and mysterious castle in fall in Scotland. Amazing. If you're looking more for some suspense, Deadly Devotion by Sandra Orchard this one series is one of my favorites, and it's just really good classic Midwest, I believe, fall vibes with like suspense murder mystery going on. Really like this one. The Storyteller's Daughter by Victoria McCombs. This one is just like very cozy fantasy fairy tale vibes. It's a retelling of Rumpelstiltskin, but it's not that creepy. This book is one of my favorites by this author, and I really, really enjoyed it. A Name Unknown by one of my all-time favorite authors, Rosanna M. White. This book, again, very dark academia, library, Victorian, like just Edwardian England. It's just the best. I love this, and you will love this too. Again, it has like lots of those like historical but cozy mystery vibes. Love it. These two books are my favorite fall Anne books, so Anne of Avonlea and Anne of the Island. They both have very fall vibes because Anne of Avonlea is her teaching school for the first time, so you have like all of the back to school, Victorian, Anne of Green Gables vibes, but it's her teaching lots of little kids school. I love this one. And then Anne of the Island is the dark academia, going to college, all of the beautiful fall quotes. Both of these have a lot of fall quotes in them, so these are going to be your best Anne bet when it comes to fall. Also by Ellen Montgomery is Pat of Silverbush. This is my sister's favorite book. I love it so much as well. But this book, again, has some very cozy fall vibes. This cover is very summery, but inside you have some of, again, that back to school, children being children, exploring their imagination, just a very whimsical fall in this book. My book, Once I Knew, is a book that I love reading in the fall because it is a very cozy fantasy, medieval, historical feel. It is non-magical fantasy, and it reads like alternative history, and I really, really love reading this book in the fall because it feels like a cozy read. If you are going a little bit more for spooky without being spooky, it's the Premonition at Wither's Farm. This is a murder mystery, so it is going to be a little bit spooky and creepy. There are mentions of ghosts. They may or may not be real, so take that with a grain of salt. It's definitely a more biblical approach to ghosts. I really, really liked this book. I just finished reading it. It has lots of those like clean but spooky murder mystery vibes, if that's what you're going for. I don't know why I like this book for fall, but When Crickets Cry just has a heartwarming, cozy vibe to it. It's basically about a heart surgeon and his traumatic backstory, along with the young girl who has a heart defect that ends up falling into his life, and the way that God uses their lives meeting to change the course of many people's history. So I really, really love this book. It's bring tissues, be prepared to have your heart broken, but we'll put it back together, I promise. These two are a little bit more on the classic side, but Jane Eyre, all of the dark Gothic Victorian vibes. This book does not get enough hype. I actually really, really love it. Is Rochester somewhat annoying at times? Yes. Do we still love Jane? Yes. So read Jane Eyre if you're willing to bite off a little bit more than you can chew, or listen to the audiobook, which is what I did. Really enjoyed doing that because I feel like it allowed me to immerse myself in the story better instead of getting bogged down with all of the words. But Jane Eyre is very fall, very cozy Gothic Victorian vibes for sure. And lastly, along the same lines, is The Hidden Hand by Eden Southworth. Oh my goodness. You will be taken on a roller coaster ride of a mystery set in a historical setting with all of the really cool vibes. But again, this is just very Gothic Victorian America. so good. So many different threads and plot lines. This is one of my all-time favorite books. It's just a masterpiece. But it starts off with some of the most blustery fall stormy weather ever. So I really love it for that reason. And I wouldn't say it's spooky, but it definitely has some of those like elements in it just because of the mystery, but it's not spooky, if that makes sense. I really love this book and I hope you do too. And I hope these books help you get into the fall mood. And if you read any of them, please let me know and comment. Also comment and let me know if you want to see any more of these like themed recommendations, because I have so many clean book recommendations, you have no idea.